President Trump refuses to believe that solar energy actually provides more jobs than coal. Now, this is according to his former economic advisor, Gary Cohn, who, while talking about his time in the White House, told the host of Freakonomics podcast how deeply economically ignorant this president actually is. Now, Cohn said that when he was talking about energy policy, that he had trouble convincing the president about the virtues of solar power. He was actually saying, look, solar power, it's the energy of the future. And we're going to have to go and invest in that, and we're going to actually have to accept that. And he said the president was unpersuaded and said, oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe that solar power, solar energy has more people working in it than coal. I can't believe it. In fact, he said, I remember vividly having a conversation with the president on coal jobs versus solar panel installers. He said, we ended up putting up tariffs on solar panels, which I didn't understand either. And I did turn to him one day and I said, Mr. President, how many coal miners do we have in the United States? And how many solar panel installers do we have? And I said, I'm not here to trick you up. The answer is, I'll make it simple, because you got to make it simple for him. Let's be honest. He said, less than 50,000 coal miners into the United States and more than 350,000 solar panel installers. And to which the president said, I don't believe it. I do. Fake news. It's all fake news. Now, on the tariffs part. Now, look, we all know that the tariffs were meant to hurt solar sales, to drop the job numbers. Ironically, right, Donald Trump wanted to sabotage the solar industry so that he could increase reliance on coal and therefore save coal jobs. You know what that is? You know what we call that? That's crony capitalism, right? That is the government coming in and picking winners and losers. Wait a minute. I thought Republicans were against that. But in reality, look, Donald Trump ran as a Republican. Do you think he has actually any core conservative principles? No, absolutely not. And neither does the Republican Party, and I'm going to give you a great example of that in a minute. But first, Cohn also went to explain that Trump's love affair with coal had a lot to do with the appeal to nostalgia in key swing states, where coal mining communities have been hurt by the rise of alternative energy, such as natural gas and renewables. So, Cohn said, he understood in West Virginia and southern Ohio and Pennsylvania, you better go talk about coal. And he understood in certain steel towns, when he looked at the empty steel mills, he should talk about bringing back steel jobs. But that goes to the core of who Donald Trump is. He's a marketer. He's promotion. And that's all he knows how to do, is promote himself. And it says, look, I'm going to go to these places. I'm going to talk about bringing back coal. I'm going to promise them that I'm going to bring back coal jobs, even though I have no plan to do that. And to use quote-unquote nostalgia to get votes. What do you think Make America Great Again is? It's actually ripping off Ronald Reagan. And he says, I'm going to make America great again. Well, how are you going to do that? A lot of stuff. So much stuff. I've got so many ideas, your heads will spin. No, you don't. No, he can't make coal great again. No. You know why? It's because coal is dying, literally. No. The only option that he has to do is to actually embrace solar technology, which is, as I said, cheaper and it's got more jobs. And he could use that to actually help the coal miners. See, that would be interesting to see him launch a job retraining program for people in the coal industry that are being left behind by other technology. So maybe something like free education, healthcare, assistance programs for miners while we transition to solar. And we will transition to solar and wind and other alternative energies. It's only a matter of time. And it's also a matter of if we're going to take care of those miners while it happens. Or are we not going to take care of the miners? Because what you can't do is keep selling people on a false promise that you are going to bring back coal. It's not feasible. It's not economic anymore. I know some of you might be thinking, oh, you're lying libtard, whatever. Fox News and Republicans tell me that coal is awesome and that there's so many coal miners and coal jobs, etc. No, you would be wrong. Here's an example why, right? Now in Wyoming, a report last year by energy company Pacificorp noted that 60% of its coal plants are now uneconomic. Now, what does that mean? It basically means that they're more expensive to run than the energy that they can output. They are more expensive to run. They are not making money with coal. Coal is more expensive than wind and solar power. And, of course, in Wyoming, which is where a lot of coal plants are located, that's a big, big problem for them, right? Any place where there is a lot of coal plants, it turns out that if you have a system where coal is more expensive, well, who's going to end up paying the price? Consumers, ratepayers. So what's going on? And what do the Republicans do about it, by the way? That's the other question, right? Now, instead of installing cheaper renewable energy sources for the grid, Republicans, who have a supermajority in Wyoming, passed a bill that forced ratepayers to pay more for coal in order to keep those plants open. So, University of Wyoming economist Jason Shogren told the Wyoming Tribune-Eagle about this plan, and he said, quote, "In one sense, it's a very socialist program." Socialism. There's more. On a macro scale, the Trump administration has proposed widespread bailouts for the industry at large. Now, they said, it's been reported, I should say, that the administration has tried urging utilities not to shut down coal plants, and the Department of Energy is providing up to $38 million in funding for existing coal plants. Socialism, man. What are we doing? We're picking winners and losers. Coal is an obvious loser. Solar power and wind power are obvious winners. No, we're going to prop up the coal industry because we need their votes. We need the votes of the rubes and that are working in the coal mines all day. We need their votes. And so we're going to promise them something we can never, ever deliver. That's what's going on here. The thing is, as I said, coal is dying. And that's actually a good thing because, look, coal is a large source of carbon emissions. And it's a dirty fuel. You've got mountaintop removal. You've got coal ash getting into rivers and streams and pollution. It's time for coal to go. It's time for coal to get replaced, especially if we're going to meet the target of basically going carbon neutral within the next, less than 12 years. We don't have that much time left. But, again, when you talk about climate change, or when you even talk about economic reality around the president, he doesn't believe it. And, of course, other reports have shown that even if you have facts, if you have numbers, if you have statistics around the president, it doesn't do any good. He doesn't believe in facts. I don't like facts. I don't like facts at all. Get them out of it. I love coal. Coal is fantastic. Coal is great. Solar energy, bad. You can't convince him. You can't convince him at all. He's going to believe what he's going to believe. And I think that was a quote from a Trump official. So, and not only that, but we also have a Republican Party that doesn't believe in science, believes Jesus rode in on a dinosaur, and not only that, but they're deeply hypocritical. They support socialism for these companies, for coal companies, and picking winners and losers. And they're selling you a lie. Oh no, coal will be around. Coal is great. And don't worry, we'll save coal jobs. No, they're not. No, they're not. So, and it's old, of course, a cynical plot to make more money for donors. Murray Energy is one of her really big donors to both Trump and EPA head as well. And the whole purpose is to get votes. That's the Republican Party. That's what they do. And Donald Trump was more than happy and willing to go along with it because he's one of them too. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.